Welcome guys for the new video. As I said earlier, and I promised you that I will be creating some videos on DevOps interview questions. And as a panelist, I know many questions and I used to attend the interviews also, so that I can help other people so that they can crack the interviews. But before cracking any interviews, my humble request to all of you is please attend the training, the basic training, good training, not any training, the good training, and learn the basic fundamentals. It takes some time to learn some basic fundamentals. And as I said earlier, people in DevOps, they're coming from two backgrounds. One is the development background, and the people who are not from the development background. The people who are from development background, they feel that it's a bit easier as compared to the people who are from non-development background, because the most of the tools and techniques that we use in DevOps require some sort of programming language, whether it's a Java, or it's a Groovy, or it's a YAML, or JSON, whatever. But having a little bit understanding about the programming is always a good thing, and no need to learn everything in advance. I mean, it is good to learn everything in advance, but it is not possible to learn everything in advance, because you learn something and the interview calls and interviewer basically interview the people who take the interview, they take some different dimension. So we cannot prepare 100%, but the important thing to understand here is make sure that you have some strong points. Strong point means in DevOps, whether it's AWS DevOps or Azure DevOps, there are mainly 4 areas. One is your coding part, like if you know the coding, the JavaScript and the front end and then back end, and so if you know those things very well, then it will be an added advantage for you. So normally the question in interview, normally they ask that what is a full stack developer, what is a front end developer, what is a back end developer, what are the frameworks we use in front end, back end, full stack, what do you mean by full stack? So those things we will cover in this interview question, because 10 interview questions you might see very close to your real world interview questions. But as you know that you if you want to become a successful DevOps engineer or architect, get involved in the practical or project based activities. So we have a 5 project level activities, and we take classes on that, because everything I cannot put into the YouTube, because YouTube is just to help you to do the final step or the final level of preparation for your DevOps interview. So today what we are going to see is some 10 questions, then very important questions from the DevOps that will help you to crack. And most of the time, at 80% time, you will be able to crack the interview of the DevOps. So the important thing, the first thumb rule is make sure that you have at least 2-3 strong points in your DevOps, whether it's a CI/CD, whether it's a CloudFormation, or any infrastructure as a code from that side, creating a pipeline, those side, or the Ansible and the deployment, the configuration part of that side. But it would be always better to have best understanding or better understanding on the CI/CD part. And that's where the most of the interview question comes, and roaming around those areas. So let's start with this the 10 questions. I don't want to take much time, because we will have one more video for that. And do let me know if whatever you feel. We have some classes. We have classes for interview preparation that will cost you close to 10,000 rupees. And in that classes, basically we will ask you to do some projects, 1 or 2 projects, and then that projects will give you the ample experience to tag or to talk the story during your interview. That's what the problem is. I mean, always remember, guys, during first 1 minute or maximum 2 minutes, your fate, you will come to know whether you are going to crack the interview or not. So your strongness in particular 2-3 areas is very much essential, rather than telling them I know everything. Don't say I know everything, or I don't have any a strong area, I am strong in everywhere. So that will be a biggest mistake, guys. You need to be very specific in your preparation. See, let's start with this 10 questions, and then we will talk in between that. So how to crack top 10 DevOps interview questions. So question 1, explain the application process on-prem or AWS. So normally when you if somebody asks you this question, you can say that there's a front end, there's a back end. There's a full stack means front end and back end both. So full stack developer, they are jack of all kind of thing, and DevOps is the to connect the dots from front end, back end, and the other part of the development. So on AWS, we have dedicated services like AWS Amplify. So get focused on AWS Amplify. Those who are planning to attend the AWS DevOps interview, make sure that you log into this AWS Amplify, which will take care of the front end, back end development, along with the CI/CD and development platform also. So AWS Amplify, open your free tier account and go to the AWS Management Console, and then go to AWS Amplify. Amplify is a platform from AWS that includes all tools and techniques for front end, back end, and DevOps side, CI/CD, for the continuous deployment and continuous integration. That is specific to AWS, and this will help you to build application and the scale that application at the global level. So that is something you need to tell if somebody asks you that, okay, have you done any application development or not. So if you are from application background, developer, Java guy, then it's not an issue. But people who are not from the development background, they need to take help of these kind of tools, Amplify. So log into Amplify and check out over there what are the things that maybe you will find front end, back end, and CI/CD things over there also. So the question is, normally in the interview they ask, what is the front end? So when it's a client side application feel kind of thing. Means the client, when he logins to your application, when the client login, he will open one API or one browser window. That browser window, whatever you see in whatever the client see in that browser window, that is called front end. So when creating a website or application, the presentation layer is what your users will interact, what your client will interact. So naturally, your designer will be responsible on how it looks like, whether it's a green or blue or the fancy thing. So that was because ultimately it's a client and who is going to pay for your development. So front end matters a lot. Always remember, it will be a front end developer job to implement a design through HTML, CSS, JavaScript. JavaScript, by the way, it's like a world leader. Most of the 90% of web applications are written in a JavaScript. So these are the things that you need to get, at least the knowledge of that, or know the name, please. You need to actually React, Angular, Flutter, Bootstrap, Ionic, NPM, and Grunt. So no need to remember everything, but at least 3 is okay. 3 or 4, it'd be good. So what is the front end? Answer is, the answer. Now, what is the back end? The back end have a lot of things. The back end developer builds and maintains technology that powers the front end. Those components which are together enable the user facing side. The back end side means all the database, the server, and everything. So the language in backend development is as follows: Golang, Ruby, SQL, Python, PHP, and along with that, there's a framework also, the Python framework, Java framework, PHP framework. These are the most common, most dominant framework, especially Java, Spring Boot. You might have heard about Spring Boot and those things. So have a look on that before you go for a interview. So front end, back end should be clear. Now, how to explain the application process on-prem? That thing, front end. Okay, what is a full stack development? See, full stack is the person who knows everything. Everything means front end, back end. He is a jack of all. So full stack development is very much in demand. That's why full stack developer, they earn more than the front end and back end developer. You know that from program browse like JavaScript is a front end, again in the program server like PHP is a back end, Python is a back end, and Spring Boot is a framework. So the first question in DevOps interview, normally they ask is, have you done any application development, or the application development steps? So as I said earlier, AWS Amplify will help you, because explaining entire application development process by Googling it will confuse you. And remember, guys, before you go for interview, don't get confused. If you don't know, it's better to don't know. If you know the things which full confidence, 3-4, you are expert in some areas, that will sure shot cracking the short formula to crack the interview, guys. I'm telling you again and again, don't try to be a master in all the things. I mean, it's good to have those things, but it will take some time, and by the time you get master, things get changed. So prepare 2-3 areas where you are ultimately strong. At least and you can talk about those areas for some time, at least for 1 or 2 minutes. So as a DevOps, as a development engineer, I was a part of, you can say that this is something I'm especially designing for you as a part of application development team, which we're developing application through AWS Amplify. This link I will share with you, and you can, once you go log into the AWS Amplify, you will see that what's front end, back end, how to prepare simple book collection application, or any simple application. And that's a JavaScript application. Always remember, 95% of world application on the planet is based on Java. So code pipeline is a continuous delivery service that automates the building, testing, and development of your software into production. So you can just, when somebody asks you whether you have seen any development, tell them that I know AWS Amplify. It's very easy, because at least you know the things in AWS Amplify. At least you can just log in and see the things. It will take hardly 1 or 2 hours or 3 hours to have a master in that. Now the final, the sixth question is, what do you mean by CI/CD? The detail of that. So many people even don't know what is the basic difference between CI and CD. So integration is software development practice where members of the team uses version control and frequently integrates their work to same location, such as main branch or something like that. But the delivery is a software development methodology where the release process is automated. Each software changes is automatically built, test, deploy to production. So continuous delivery is automated in many ways as compared to continuous integration. Such as main branch, we have main branch, each change is built, verified to detect integration errors. So integration has a lot of hurdles, checks and those things. And that's why integration has many manual approval process. Delivery, not like that. So that is a basic difference. So make sure that you are thorough with this definition. Then the seventh question would be from DevSecOps. I mean, if you are totally comfortable, try to answer. You can answer. Otherwise, tell them that I'm not in I don't have much experience on the security side, but yes, I know the tactical when you connect the three different disciplines, development, security, and operations, where the security plays a very important role. And tools like, for example, SonarQube is the most famous tool. Veracode and GitLab also is there. So try to give this information. That's it. I mean, no need to explain those things in detail. If you know, also always good. Now, do you know the containerization, Kubernetes, how to break the monolithic application step? Then this is very important, guys. This is something is really important. How to break the application? Then the first step is review the code, split the database, define the standalone delivery services, use the standalone delivery service, and remove the delivery management. So these are the steps basically. Steps to deploy the monolithic application. What do you mean by monolithic application? The microservices is and why we need people normally interview, they ask, what do you mean by this monolithic and microservices application? See, monolithic application is a single time failure. I mean, one part failure, the entire application will go down. While on the microservices side, there is a loose coupling. So even though one component goes down, then it will not go down completely, or it's very easy to repair basically, rather than bringing down and ask the expert people to come and rewrite the code. And that's what we did, right? I mean, in 10 years back, 15 years back, that was the case, but now it is not the case. So monolithic to microservices, the reason is loose coupling. We need application will be more robust, resilient. These are the things you need to tell when you say, I want to migrate our application from on-prem to cloud. Means inside the cloud means the microservices. And the main reason is resiliency and loose coupling. So what are the steps? We need to have the last step. In the last step we saw, how do you break the code? So when you answer the question, you can say first we need to break the code by following some steps, and then you can say that launch ECS cluster, check the cluster running, write the definition, task definition, create a target group, and those who configure the application load balancer, deploy the monolithic as a service, and test the application. So these are some of the questions that would help you to manage and to tackle the interviews. Next video, I will come up with some labs, especially for the project lab, that will help you to crack other interviews. Till then, happy learning, guys, and contact me on 900-721-8218, or you can ping me. The charges I already said for interview preparation, the charges are 10,000 rupees, and we will give you 5 projects and prepare you for DevOps, AWS and Azure, both for both environments. Thank you.